Hey lasers, it's Wazell. Thanks for listening. Just a heads up, this is the YouTube edited version of the show. This is not the fully envisioned version of the show because of copyright laws. A lot of the music has been removed. So if you want that version, please go to horophilia.com and look for BananaLaser Podcast. Thanks, lasers. Keep on banana-ing. Keep on banana-ing. Thanks. What's up, guys? This is Matt from BananaLaser. Our sponsor for this show is PissQuick. And let me tell you guys, I've been using PissQuick for years now. It's great at parties, large gatherings, any place where you're drinking a lot, and there's always a long line to the bathroom. You know what I'm talking about. You gotta fucking piss. There's people, waiting in line. You gotta go. What do? You grab some PissQuick, pour it down your pants, boom. Urine be gone. It soaks up all the urine. You ain't gotta piss anymore. And then when it's done, boom, you got a couple of biscuits in your pants, ready to eat. Boom, you got a little snack, soaks up the urine, bam. So piss quick, guys. Pick some up today. It's in the yellow box.
Previously on BananaLaser.
Help! Somebody help me! Is someone there? Dave?
Wazell! Oh, thank fuck. What are we doing here? Why are we chained to the wall? Hang on. I found a mini cassette player with a note that says play me.
Hello, Daisy and Wazell. I want to play a game. I want you to watch and review the Saw series. If you make it through these movies and give us a good podcast, I will let you live. If you don't, I will leave you here to rot. Let the games begin.
Hey guys! Fuck, I knew the podcast was getting shittier, but downgrading from the lounge to this dump? And why are you chained up? I always figured you guys were having sex, but this is weird.
Alex,
Fucking
what
hey.
the fuck? Get
Help
us the fuck out of here.
Please.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
What? Fucking locked!
Great. Back to square one.
Hello, Alex.
Well guys, I guess that's my cue. I'd stick around, but I don't have anything to do. I just want to get out of here. I'm a little hungry.
A little hungry? We're a lot fucking hungry. Get us out of here.
Best of luck with Banana Gun Show, guys.
Alright, this is the address where Alex said Z and Wazell are being held captive. Yep, 1234 Fake Street. This is it. Gideon Meat? An abandoned meat packing plant? I gotta find a way in and save these assholes. I think I can get through that window over there. It's strange that I'm saying this out loud. Alright, I'm in. What a fucking shithole. This place is fucking wetter than the basement in Texas Chainsaw Remake. Holy shit, dude. Alright, time to find these Banana Bozos and get them back to the Laser Lounge. What the hell is that sound? Is that singing? Is that New Kids on the Block? Oh.
Listen up, everybody, if you want to take a chance.
Just get on the floor and do the B-boys dance.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't worry about nothing, cause it won't take long.
We're gonna put you in a trance with a laser gun.
Cause you gotta be hanging
Hangin'
tough.
tough.
Detective Matthews. Hanging
Hangin'
tough.
tough.
You're fucking hanging tough, bro. Hanging
Hangin'
tough.
tough.
Are you tough enough?
Hey, Sanchez!
Dan, what the fuck, man?
What are you doing here?
Dude, you gotta get in on this.
This is the fucking shit, dude. Come on.
What the flying fuck?
What's up, assholes, and welcome to BananaLaser. We're back with our Saw Retrospective. My name is Matt, Wazell if you're nasty, and with me, chained to the wall, is my wonderful dance partner, Dave Z. What the fuck is up, Dave Z?
Hi, guys. Just hanging tough.
We're rough. Yeah.
Are you tough
Exactly.
enough?
Yep. We're joined again by a special guest. It's another dear friend of ours from the Skeleton Crew podcast on the Horrorphilia Network, Dan Chase. Hello, Dan Chase.
10 banana cream pies. Hey, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Tom, for having me on. I love the show.
You motherfucker. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't even know what to say
guys.
to that.
Old joke.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Thanks, Dan, for being here and possibly saving us from this death dungeon. Really appreciate that.
Thank you guys for having me on. This is my favorite entry in the Saw series, besides maybe one. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on, you fucking assholes.
Yes, your favorite episode, huh? Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, the flick we're talking about today is Saw IV from 2007. Let's just say this right at the top of the fucking show because it's going to be hard not to talk about it. This movie takes place concurrently with Part 3. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, dun, dun. Crazy.
I thought you were going to fucking mention Jigsaw's cock right off the bat. That's what I thought you were going to say just now. Saying, let's get it off. Let's put it out there right now. Jigsaw's cock is shown in the fucking opening.
That's true. I wonder if they...
it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I have the unrated, man. I don't know about you. But,
yeah,
I didn't buy it for Jigsaw's cock. I bought
maybe
it for,
I just wasn't looking. Big.
Rewind it, slow-mo it, be mesmerized about it.
I didn't do a frame by frame. So.
Oh,
I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. And this is the fourth time I watched it, and I never noticed it until this time.
Really? I guess I've noticed it every time. I don't know what that says about me. Holy shit. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, this movie, one of the biggest twists of this movie is that the timeline, it's kind of a unique thing. I don't think any other movie has really done something like this where, it takes the storyline, because most of the major players from Part 3 are dead. Jigsaw is dead. Amanda is dead. All you got left is like the cops and shit like that. So you kind of pick it up there and follow them.
Right.
But all this happens at the same time as Part 3. Did that turn you guys off, or you guys like that shit? I thought it was badass.
Oh,
yeah,
dude. Yeah, go ahead, Dave, because I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it.
No,
Insidious 2 hater.
I'll tell you what, just like Saw IV, I will watch Insidious 2 again and hope that I'm fucking swayed. I want to enjoy it. Just like this. Okay, now I'll tell you what. This is the fourth fucking time I saw this movie. It took me the fourth time for it to fucking finally sink in. This is weird. I hate to be going off, but the first time I saw it, I fucking liked it a lot, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, somebody I know told me this fucking movie doesn't make sense, and they didn't like it, and they saw it when I saw it. And I was like, I'm like, really? And they go, and so anyway, because I got that in my head, when I watched it the second time, I was like, holy fuck, they were right. There's no way this could have happened in that time. Yada yada yada. Then I watched it another time, and I didn't. Same thing. Last year, or maybe no. It's been a while. It's been like 3 years. I watched them all in a row once, like 3 years ago. And that time, I guess going into it, I expected it to be shitty. So I watched it, and I didn't. Once again, that was my attitude about it. That it didn't hold water in the plot, the timeline, the whole thing. Well, I watched it this time for whatever reason. I heard a line. Yeah, it clicked, and I heard a line in it, and I thought it was taking place after Jigsaw died. But either way, it did click this time. To make a long story short, so right. I don't mind it because the first time I saw it, I thought, holy fuck, brilliant. Look at that. What a great thing. When you saw Jeff in the end coming in, and then it's revealed that it's just the same timeline, I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking great.
It takes a minute for your mind to process that, too. Like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Wait, what? What? Oh, shit, son.
Well, you know what? The first time I saw Jeff, I thought that it was him proceeding on in his next mission to find his daughter. Because remember how 3 ends? He goes, you have another mission, Jeff? and go find your daughter, and they show her. So anyway, when they showed him,
daughter, by the way, does she?
She comes back.
Yeah,
And
she comes
there's
back
a
right
scene.
here.
Yeah, there's a scene
right.
in where Hoffman is buying a teddy bear or some bullshit.
Yes.
Right.
And Perez asks him, "Hey, you got a daughter?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a daughter. It's a short story."
Yep.
He's basically taking that, to the little girl.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, it's a total mind fuck. It really fucks with the timeline. It's got a lot of flashbacks. The movie starts with the end of the movie, essentially. This autopsy of Jigsaw, which is pretty fucking brutal. I think it was a brilliant way to open this movie because everybody's thinking, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to bring Jigsaw back? You're going to do a Jason Voorhees kind of thing where he's still alive? No. This motherfucker is dead. He's being ripped open on this table, and it's really authentic, actually.
Awesome.
I didn't believe that this is how you actually open someone up for an autopsy, and I looked it up, and it's all accurate.
It's pretty straightforward.
They pull the head skin back, they fucking cut a giant Y on you like that. It's crazy. They cut your chest bone open. It's nuts. It's fucking brutal.
It's accurate. Like in Saw 3, when they did when she was doing brain surgery, I felt the same way. I'm like, this look, now I don't know, I'm not a fucking brain surgeon, but when I look, I go, you know what? I bet this is fucking how it really looks. This is incredible. And I got the same feeling when watching this autopsy. I'm like, I bet this is, this is authentic type shit. This is the way it goes. And then the gore it looks real. You're like, holy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That penis looked fake. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't it have been funny if they fucking gave him a hard-on?
Oh, my God.
Well, fuck. They call fucking dead bodies stiffs,
Now, do you want to play a game?
They could have said rigor mortis set in a little bit earlier.
Oh, my God.
Just for a gag. Could you imagine that?
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I couldn't let that slide.
And we also get to see finally what the fuck that tape was that he was swallowing from part 3. And that's the brilliant thing about these movies is they leave these dangling threads for you to pick up on in the sequels. Some people don't like that. I fucking love it because it gives you something to look forward to. It's like, hey, what the fuck is that? That means something. And then it gives you time in between the releases to theorize yourself as to what it's going to be. And that shit's fun. That's what makes these movies engaging.
Now, do you guys think that Darren Lynn Bousman wrote 4 when he wrote 3? Do you know what I mean? Like, or do you think he kind of went back to tie up those loose ends?
No. From what I read, he didn't even want to do this movie.
Right.
And he read the script, and it said that he was completely floored at the twist, and the twist took him so much by surprise that it made him want to do this movie.
And that's why I love this movie so much, and that's why I love the Saw series so much, is because of the twist, not because of the gore. I mean, dude, I like gore, I like good kills, and there are some good kills in this whole series, specifically in this one, too. This one has some badass fucking traps, dude. But besides all that, it's those smart twists, and a lot of people can't see past that, and they can't get into the series because of that. And I always feel bad for those people because I'm like, you're missing out on a lot, dude. It's one cohesive story throughout all these movies. Well, maybe except for 7, but it's all pretty cohesive in my eyes. So you got to watch them all. You gotta take the whole thing in,
Dan took the words right out of my mouth, 100%. I am the exact same way. I feel bad. I try to tell people, but everything you said, I couldn't agree more. This is a great series. And it isn't all about gore. That's half of the draw. The other half, or even more than half, but the best part about it is the fucking story and the back and forth and the twist and connecting it all together. And it's a fucking intelligent series, but it gets a bad rap for being a fucking torture porn series.
You know what I like about these movies too is they don't use like really big actors. There's a couple spread throughout, like, especially like in the first one, what's his name there?
Carrie Elways, Danny Glover.
Yeah. Danny Glover's obviously huge. Yeah, and even in these movies, there are a couple semi-big actors, but nobody really that big. And I always liked that. You know what I mean? I always liked the continuity from one to the other, and especially with the way they choose their actors and stuff like that. Now, there are a couple things overall in this series that I don't like, and one is kind of magnified in this movie because they do it, I think, twice. But it's basically, well, okay, let me ask you guys this before we get into all the Jigsaw back flashes or whatever the flashbacks, back flashes.
No, I like back flashes. That's good.
Back flashes.
Hey, coined a new term. Yeah. From now on in this retrospective, they'll be called that. Back flashes. Let's get to those back flashes.
Dyslexic I'm. Do you guys think it's actually believable that Jigsaw could do all of this? Like, you would have to fucking plan for 4 or 5 years and have everything fall into place the way you want it to, but there are certain things which he could not control that he just guessed. Like when the girl puts her face up to the fucking to the puppet and it explodes in her face, and he's like, oh, he's talking to her, and stuff like that. How would you know she would do that as opposed to the other cop? You know what I mean? Like, everything had to go just perfectly, and it just seems like a stretch.
How would he even know that it was Strom who was going to be the FBI agent on the case and all this stuff? Yeah, that stuff is kind of impossible, and the more you think about it, the more you'll get cross-eyed, unfortunately. But one thing I will say is that this movie, well, I guess Part 3 and Part 4, it's stated in this movie it takes place 6 months after Part 2, because they say Captain Matthews has been missing for 6 months. So, in theory, that would give a person or persons enough time to set up a lot of this stuff. If you have 6 months to set up all these traps and stuff like that, whether or not it would be plausible for everything to fall in place for them to be activated the way you wanted to is another story, but at least they had enough time to do it. So.
Oh, yeah, and honestly, it doesn't take anything away because, let's face it, these stories are so intricate that, if it didn't play out the way that it was supposed to, then we wouldn't get all these clever little things. This wouldn't happen in real life is what I'm saying, so you just kind of go with it, you know what I mean? Oh, and another thing that I was really excited to see, I think it's shortly after the autopsy scene, or it's somewhat after it, is when you see Detective Matthews come back. He's my favorite character, I think. I was telling you guys, I had New Kids on the Block sheets growing up. That was one of the first albums I ever bought as a kid. And I love it. And so seeing fucking Donnie Wahlberg in here just blew my mind. And to see him come back when he's in that fucking room again, and that's a brutal scene too, what he does to try and get out of there. But I was so fucking happy to see him back in this one, because you just assume that he's dead, or maybe he won't be coming back till later.
They originally had wrote the script without him in it, and then the schedule opened up and he could do it. And it's still kind of funny because, except for a couple flashes, the entire movie, he's basically just chained up. And so,
Poor bastard,
most actors wouldn't really agree to that. It's like, I want something to do. I just don't want to hang there for the entire length of the movie. But one thing I want to point out is that when he's in captivity, like old boy style, for 6 months, he makes friends with, like, the rats or some shit.
Does he?
Did you see that? There's, like, a quick flash of him sitting there, and he's holding and petting a rat, like Willard style or something.
Is that when they're feeding him food and stuff?
Yeah.
I think I did see that. Yeah.
He's fucking petting a rat. This guy's going nuts in there. Holy shit!
Wow, that's just the human condition. That might be something that people would do when they're fucking secluded. If they can have a domesticated anything, they're gonna fucking try to fucking have a fun with it.
Oh man.
Yep.
But let me say one thing about this movie, because there are things bad about it and there are things good about it. This movie in particular, not the series as a whole, but this movie in particular, we were discussing it earlier about the plausibility of it and everything else.
Yeah.
I would say that this movie in particular it's possible, but not probable. That's what I'd say about everything that occurs.
Yeah, there's too many factors. Like, for instance, the main, I guess the main plot, you would say, there's like two plots. You got the Rigg plot, and he's going through his tests, and you got the Strom, Perez plot, where they're trying to find Jigsaw. Now, in the Rigg plot, it's not in a warehouse. You know, this is the first time they actually kind of expanded out. And
that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, it starts in his apartment. Then he has to go to a hotel. Then he has to go to a warehouse, and so it moves around a lot. So there's a lot of room for error in there, and he's on a time limit too. So, okay, so after the autopsy scene, they open, as they do many times with these flicks, with a trap, and this one is unique in that the trap starts, and it's basically two guys chained together. One has his eyes sewn shut, one has his lips sewn shut, so they can't communicate. And but there's no tape, there's no TV, there's no Billy the Puppet, there's no one explaining what is going on and why they're in a test. It just opens. And it starts. I thought that was really strange. Yeah.
And that was kind of rigged, too, because it was kind of meant for the lawyer there to win. Because, first of all, he's the only one who can fucking see the tape recorder, first of all. And second of all, when he gets to the tape recorder afterwards, after he kills the fucking guy, then it's Jigsaw talking to him almost like he knew he was going to win. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, well, okay, that's not really. I don't know if you look at the rules, Jigsaw lives by. That doesn't really adhere to him per se. But then again, whatever.
I thought it was rigged for him to kill the lawyer because he didn't like the lawyer.
Yes.
Right.
So I thought it was rigged for him to kill the lawyer. So, but
right.
I gotta say, this is my biggest problem with the fucking movie now. I never liked the scene. This would always be the first thing I would say, and then I would elaborate about how the plot didn't hold up, but I got over the one thing. Like I said, it clicked. But this makes no fucking sense at all. There's no tape. There's nothing. It's not a Jigsaw trap. It makes no sense. And it's not even explained why he has a vendetta against this guy. None of it's explained. It makes no fucking sense. We never find out what happens with this lawyer. We never find out what happens with the other guy. They don't even explain it away in other movies. Usually in the series, they could explain it further down the line. It makes no sense. That's the biggest, right off the bat, that's a fucking...
What do you mean you don't find out what happens to the lawyer? He dies in the movie.
I understand, but you don't know why. I mean, leading up to that.
Gotcha.
Later on, when we see Jigsaw's backstory and the whole thing, and we understand at this time he's taking a turn, he's all fucked up, and he says, he comes to him, he's his buddy, and he's like, John, come on, this is me you're talking to, and he's all fucked up. I mean, we'll get to it, but he goes, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
I love that.
Yeah,
and then he tries to say it again, he can't even say it again.
He's just like, you heard me.
You heard me.
You heard. Right, so I understand at that point in his life, he's going through a metamorphosis of sorts, and he's fucking becoming Jigsaw, but... is that a reason to fucking do that to him and then put him in this position? It makes no. So there's two things wrong with it.
Yeah, you're
One,
right.
there's no motive. Two, it's not a Jigsaw trap. There's two people being tortured for no reason. One survives, and then he ends up working for Jigsaw.
It's because he represented all of these quote-unquote criminals and got them off. Everybody that Rigg encounters in the traps, the three people, they're all people that this lawyer got off.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. And so I think that gives him motive to put him in a trap.
Thank you. It does give him motive. Okay, so we're past that. But it still doesn't explain the, why there's no tape, why nothing is explained, and who's the other guy.
I think it's because they wrote themselves in a corner and they didn't want to write. They couldn't play a tape or something because then the guy with his eyes sewn shut would have heard it and would have got a better sense of what's going on.
Now, I could be wrong. I think the guy with his eyes sewn shut is, they show him, I believe, in a quick scene when the guy fucking breaks into the medical clinic, right?
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
He's with his son.
Yeah,
no,
he's one of those guys.
He's got a junkie son that he's walking out, and he's like, good night, Jill, or whatever, and then the other guy comes in, hey, I forgot my coat. It's that scene, yeah. But in that scene, though, right, you know how Jigsaw's out in the car, and then Hottie with a naughty body comes up to him, and he's reading oh god, I'm gonna forget the fucking book name. It's basically like how to make traps and shit.
Oh,
and
really?
and that's before the quote-unquote fucking Jigsaw persona comes into play, 5 minutes later.
He read that book that Heather Langenkamp read in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Exactly.
Improvised break-ins. Yes.
MacGyver 101.
That chick, though, that approached him is actually one of the chicks from Saw II.
Right.
And a lot of these background characters, I love this about this movie, a lot of these background characters are in Saw II or other Saw movies.
Yeah.
Like the guy who gets his face blown off by looking through the peephole in Part 2. He's one of the guys in this. And it's really interesting how they draw, all these characters and they make it seem like an actual world,
Even the nurse, what is it? The nurse's right hand lady. She's in 3 and 4, and she's she has to do with a flashback when they bring when Jigsaw brings his wife in after she has a miscarriage or whatever. So there's a lot of that shit, dude. If you watch it, and I think even she worked with Doctor whatever, fucking what's his name, Cary Ells from the first one,
Gordon.
Yeah, Dr. Gordon. So I love that shit, dude. I eat it up. I love continuity. I don't even know what the word is, but I love it, dude. It's brilliant. I think it's great. Wow. It's fun, dude. It's fun for the movie going experience.
You didn't notice this shit, Dave?
No, you guys just blew my mind from the first thing, and I love the series as much as anybody, but from the first guy, you said that the guy was the father of a junkie or whatever. I never, the guy with the eye sewn shut, I never recall seeing him there. So now, once again, hearing this information is kind of opening my eyes to it, saying, oh, okay, well, you know what? I understand why Jigsaw was going to go with whichever one of those two guys won as his fucking patsy. But he had beef with both of them. So whoever won, he had a tape made for each of them. I'm sure. Who gives a fuck? One's on one side of the room, one's on the other. You know what I mean? Why not? That's plausible. So what the fuck? But that's very cool. Once again, just when I think I'm going to knock something down in the series, I hear something else. Right, and I've done my share of explaining things away in the first 3 movies. But, that's the fucking beauty of the series. Some people pick up on some shit, and some people don't, and vice versa.
Oh, well, I just want to touch upon the end of that scene with the lawyer. Yeah. Okay, the scene ends. He bashes that guy's fucking head in quite brutally. But then he immediately rips his mouth open, and it looks awesome. And then it cuts to the title. Looks fucking great. But why on earth would you do that? Okay, it's like, okay, you're safe now. Just wait until you can get to a knife or something, Don't rip open your fucking lips.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, it looked badass, and then it cuts to the title, which is, that's like a hero moment. It's fucking awesome, but it's like, just wait a few minutes. You might find something, man. He immediately did it.
I never realized that.
He just dove right in.
Yeah. Fuck.
Did anyone else think he was dead the first time they saw him? Because I thought that was the end of him, and I was surprised to see him later on in the movie.
You know what? This movie is confusing as fuck because
I think it's meant to be.
You got John Hamm. No, you got Strom, who's the poor man's John Hamm. That guy. Then you got Casas Mandalore, who plays Hoffman, and then you got this lawyer dude. They all in a lineup. It would be difficult as fuck to pick these guys apart. They all look so, almost identical.
Yeah. I had a problem with Strom and Hoffman the first time I saw this movie. And maybe second. Not anymore I don't, because I've seen Hoffman and the others so many times, and I've got accustomed to him. I never thought about the third guy, but definitely those two. Wow, yeah.
Yo, it's your boy Jonathan Lore, a.k.a. Johnny Gore, calling in to BananaLaser. Just saying, I'm really enjoying the Saw Retrospective so far, and I can't wait for the very next show, because I know you guys are going to kill it. You guys kill it every single time, just like I did with the Halloween Retrospective. So yeah, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and I'll still be listening. Take care. Peace.
This movie, I would say this is a transitional movie.
Yeah,
and that's why you can either think that's amazing because of it, or you could say I don't like it quite as much as the others because of that very reason. But it's the end of the first era. It's the end of the Jigsaw being alive and the Amanda situation, and the beginning of the Hoffman era. But we don't know that until the end. So it's it's setting up to become a different series. Because to me, there's 1 through 3, 4, 5, and 6 are kind of, more standalone. But primarily 5 and 6. And 7's off in its own world and it's fucked up. But this movie is transitional, and that's
Dude,
I don't know if it's
so glad you said that, bro. Because you said transitional. How great are these fucking transitional shots in this movie?
Oh yeah, dude.
Holy
Bousman, he
shit.
just gets better and better with these flicks, dude.
And
It's
that's
so
no
incredible.
editing either. That's real shit, dude. That's all in the same room. Like when she goes through the mirror, dude, and while they're opening the door like that, that's really happening in the same
Incredible.
room. That is fucking amazing. You know what we're talking about, Dave? All those transitional scenes.
Yes, and you know what? Yes, I
all
do.
real. Yeah.
I don't think that this continues on in 5 and 6 either.
No, because Bousman doesn't direct
Right.
it.
Yeah, it
He's the
becomes
one
active.
behind all this, yeah.
Right. So I think that adds to what's good about this movie. Is
Exactly.
Technically, it may be
Yep.
better than 5 and 6. I don't know about plot and everything, and whatever. That's just all matters of opinion. But technically, I fucking feel you on that, and I was appreciating it during it, you know. But I didn't realize, until I watched 5 or until you brought it up now, that you know what. Yeah, that's missing from the others, and it's a strong point about this movie here.
Well, and
This movie's a
I liked
fucking
it even
conundrum.
more. I liked it even more because I found out all those shots were real too. Like there were no editing involved in that.
Wow.
And that just blows my mind, dude. That's fucking cool filmmaking right there. That's being creative. And I don't even like Darren Lynn Bousman as a person. I've said it before. I just think his personality is just off-putting to me. He's kind of like a worrier, and he comes off as annoying. Oh, speaking of that, his white dog in that movie, the pedophile's dog, that's Darren Lynn Bousman's dog.
Oh, really? God.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That dog looks like fucking my dog.
Does it?
It's a
No
Bichon Frise.
shit.
I got 2 dogs. They're my wife's dogs.
A whatsy?
A Bichon Frise. It's a fucking French hoity-toity fucking lap dog. That's what it is. But
Hey,
that's
Skip,
what it
what are we gonna do, Skip?
is. Let me ask you this, Dan, since you know about Bousman. What else has he directed? Because I am suddenly fucking intrigued with his work because of what we just discussed. Do you know?
He did The Barons.
He did that movie with Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon. That was badass, dude.
I didn't see it.
He did 2 musicals, he did 2 rock operas, and I haven't seen
Repo.
them. Yeah,
Repo
he did.
the generic opera.
He
yeah.
did.
Repo.
He did that. Repo.
Yeah,
the
and he
Johnny
did The Devil's Carnival. Yeah, he did both of those.
Well, is it him or is it the cinematographer? Is he? Let me ask you that. Does it go on to his creativity, or is the cinematographer standalone? In other words, are there other movies like this? Like as far as all shots you're saying, transitional?
No, I mean they're not as artsy fartsy as this one gets. I mean I haven't seen the rock operas, so I don't know what those are like.
They're
But
good, man.
Yeah, the other flicks that I've seen him do, they're more straightforward. I think because of the nature of the story and how it's so twisted and wrapped into itself, that's why these kind of things work in this series.
It's intriguing. Those shots are great, man. You're definitely right about that.
Yeah.
He did Saw 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Shit.
And
they're all shot well. I can't argue that. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so after this, then we're introduced to, I guess, the A plot, the B plot. I don't know. It's the cop, the cop plot essentially. The cops find Carrie's body, and here we get some more rat play. Whenever there's a shot of her body, and there's a rat inside of her body squirming to get out. That's fucking gruesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like what? It's just really quick, but it's like, oh my god, that's gross.
Fucking Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, yeah, he's gonna make a stew.
Yeah. At least we got to see Carrie one last time. Poor girl.
Hey guys, I know she's really not in this that much in the movie, but is it wrong of me to say I'm in fucking love with Shawnee Smith? She is so fucking fine in my eyes.
Part 3. We talked about it. That was her high point for me. She was really hot in that flick. I thought
she's a great actress, dude. She's in a lot of shit too. Like I'll see her on TV every once in a while, and I'm like, oh shit, it's that fucked up bitch Amanda. But
I thought you were gonna mention My Girl.
She's in My Girl.
What? My Girl. Look out for the bees! The bees!
Oh, Dina Myers is fucking sexy too, man.
Yeah, dude. Because we were talking about Carrie.
Oh
dude,
my God, I love her.
I've been ranting about her for fucking part 2, part 3. I've been talking about her. Show.
Dave would even fuck her with the skin ripped open.
Well, she's not going to count for Banana. I guess she's out of the running. A dead chick doesn't really count. So
well.
Does it? If so, I might have to reconsider.
No, that's like personal taste.
What's the difference between jam and jelly?
Oh my God!
Jelly. Okay, I'll stop.
Somebody had to bring it up.
Yeah. So So we're introduced to this cop plot, and Hoffman is back. He had one scene in part 3, and Rigg is back. He's been here since part 2. And he's he's in charge of the SWAT team. And it introduces Rigg so that it can show his problem, I guess. I don't know. He has a problem of trying to save people, and that's what
I guess.
That's what Jigsaw wants to correct. I get it. He's sacrificing his family for work, and stuff like that. It shows that later with his wife, but at first I was like, Jigsaw is trying to punish him. Right. Or trying to change him for being too heroic. It's like it shows him at the beginning. He runs through the door, in a panic because he wants to save Carrie, and the door wasn't checked, and Hoffman gets on him and stuff like that. So that kind of sets up his whole character for the rest of the movie.
Can't say I buy that though. Totally, you know what I mean?
I don't buy it at all. It's flimsy as fuck.
I have a different theory completely.
Okay, what you got?
Shit, what you got, Dave?
Because this one sucks. So please make it better.
Oh no! Listen, this test here, and you're talking to a guy that's bashed this movie for fucking 5 years.
Yeah. Give me what you got. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, dude. This test here. First of all, it's brilliant that Matt. It's brilliant that fucking what's his name? What the fuck? Hoffman was shown in part 3 in that scene because of what he said in that very scene. Because I don't know if you guys remember but he was already on his defense. He was like, all he had to do was this, and then the fucking guy looked at him. He said, all he had to do, and then they show him give a look. So now knowing it, when I watched 3 last time, I was like, oh, that's a great prelude to fucking what's coming. After that, this test for what's his name, Rigg. This test is not Jigsaw's test. This test is fucking Hoffman's test to Jigsaw. This is Hoffman's test on Rigg. This is Hoffman's first fucking test on anybody. The test subject is Rigg. Okay? He wants him to pass because he warns him. He tells him again, he says, go home. He tells him, fucking get out. He tells him, he warns him once or twice, 3 times, whatever the fuck. 3 times a lady. He tells him, go home and be with your fucking family and forget about it. This whole thing is him, and he wants him to pass. I believe that actually I know for a fact, see what I see, do what I do, judge as I judge, save as I save. He wants to pass this fucking on to Rigg. He wants Rigg to be his fucking accomplice in this syndicate.
Makes
and
sense,
Jigsaw is gone. He likes him. He's trying to help him.
Yeah. Yeah, it mirrors a lot with Jigsaw and Jeff, because he was actually trying to help Jeff, seemingly, get over the death of his son and stuff like that. So, that's interesting, Dave.
Remember, he yells at him, too. Remember, this is what's fucked up. In the beginning, I think when I'm watching this movie, they finally got smart when they went to Jigsaw's place and they brought that fucking camera with them that does the investigating for him. Because every movie, somebody runs in and fucking someone gets trapped. Right, some shit happens. That was the first thing I thought, wow, they finally fucking wised up after 3 movies and dealing with Jigsaw. We're sending in that fucking exploratory cam, whatever it's called, okay? But then, asshole fucking Rigg runs in, even after being told fucking prior by fucking Hoffman. Runs in, and what the fuck? Hoffman jumps all over him right away. He goes, what's the matter with you? You know better than to run into fucking an unsecured location alone, He is on his fucking ass. This is what I believe, that this is the last guy in his department, and he is straight up, this whole movie, At least this, yeah, because it ties it. This whole chapter has to do with Hoffman fucking wanting Rigg to fucking to join in the cause, and of course it's still set up with Jigsaw's help. Jigsaw still had the idea to begin with.
Right. So you're saying he tried to warn him that? Right. I guess that's admirable in a sense, but later on in the series, Hoffman's just a bastard, and he kind of goes Amanda's route where, it doesn't adhere to Jigsaw's rules. Do you know what I mean? So I know what you're saying, though. Well, because it's probably not his friend like Riggs is.
Oh, he's threatened. He's threatened in the sequels. He's threatened by fucking... He does do one thing wrong, and then he's being threatened by fucking... Yeah, in the future, he's got the whole beef going on with... What's her name?
With, the wifey there, yeah.
Yeah, right? So that's what's going on. Granted, he's not a fucking... he's not a schoolboy with it. He's not a fucking Boy Scout about it. But he's no Amanda. He's not off the fucking beaten path the way Amanda is.
Right, yeah, that bitch was straight.
He has motive that makes sense, where Amanda just fucking had inner demons.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, that's my take.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that is good, dude. That made it a little clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, we're all helping each other out.
So, and you also said, finally the cops are doing something right, because something else happens finally with the cops in that the FBI comes in. It took them this long to get the FBI involved. What the fuck? Oh, and we find out it's been 6 months.
Right.
And there's books written about not just Jigsaw, but the fact that John Kramer is Jigsaw.
Right.
There's one of the agents is thumbing through all these books, a book that says Jigsaw / John Kramer. You know who he is. How come you cannot find him? It's crazy to me.
But it is 6 months later from the first movie, and the first movie isn't even the birth of Jigsaw. That takes place after Jigsaw was already a known name. Because remember they said it's called the Jigsaw Killer. They said it in part 1. Right. So this is like maybe, 9 months or longer since...
Yeah, and just now the FBI is getting involved? You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, that is a little odd. But...
And they know that it's John Kramer. I find this baffling that if the FBI knows such and such, they know that Matt Wiesel is a serial killer, they're going to find me, okay? I'm not going to be able to elude the FBI for too long. So
right.
Yeah, well, there we go. From a strong point to a flaw. That's fucking...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's part of the course with this movie.
See, I think the cops are really dumb, because if you just look at the pattern, like, clearly Jigsaw has targeted police officers and all types of fucking law enforcement personnel. I just fucking would stay far away from that shit.
Right.
I don't want to become a player, a pawn in Jigsaw's game.
Yeah, no shit. So I really like Strom, the guy playing Strom in this flick. Every time, and it wasn't until this viewing, every time he's on screen and doing his thing, I really like him for some reason. And I want him to succeed. You know what I mean?
Isn't it be more opposite?
Really?
I've been saying I watched 4 and I watched 5. And I've fucking been motherfucking him the whole time when I'm watching him. I think he's fucking cocky and arrogant. I don't like the fucking look of him. He has a fucking pretty boy look. He's a fucking... maybe I'm just a Hoffman fucking, maybe I'm just a Hoffman guy. I'm sympathetic.
Yeah, you're a Hoffman purist. I know.
Welcome to the 25th Annual Player Haters Ball.
I don't know. I just don't like his... something about him, the way he...
Hate.
I thought... And I thought that him in this flick and his story of trying to, basically chase down Jigsaw, I thought that was strong enough to carry a whole movie. I felt like, okay, why did they, they felt like they had to include John Kramer, Jigsaw in flashbacks and stuff like that. But what if they went a different route? What if they just wrote a movie where it had Jigsaw not in it because he's dead? And he literally wasn't in it anymore, and it was just more of a cop thing. And you still have Rigg going through the tests and stuff like that, but it's just more about the cops trying to chase him down. I thought it would be more interesting, almost like that.
There were a lot of different storylines that made this movie, original and kept it flowing. I think better than the third one, because when you're following around that one dude in the third one, it seems a little, I don't want to say repetitive, but like you said, at least with Riggs, he's hopping from place to place. Okay, so his character and that storyline in itself isn't contained in one place. Okay, boom, right there. That in itself is enough. And then you got, like you said, the Agent Strom and Perez that whole thing, and then you got all the backstories and the origins of Jigsaw. I mean, there are a lot of things in this movie that kind of add up to it being one of the best in the series, in my opinion. Like, they cover so much in this that it almost feels like, wow, did they just blow their wad too soon? like, do you know what I'm saying though? Like, with the whole backstory and stuff, because I mean, at least they didn't give away what was in Amanda's letter there. They kept some things, but that's the brilliance of these two is. They definitely leave you hanging, and you know how these came out every Halloween and stuff like that? Dude, I was game until the 6th one, and I didn't see the 7th one in the theaters either, because, I kind of stopped caring at that point, and I was like, yeah, I'll see them when they come out on DVD. But, I was really into these movies, and it really left you wanting more at the end, and that's why with the little like you said, Matt, with the tape that he ate, pouring the wax on it and stuff like that, you're like, why the fuck's he doing that? And then you learn in the next one, oh, okay, that's cool. Like I love all the little connecting tissue, so to speak, or no pun intended. So you know what I mean? I love that shit, and there's tons of it in this movie, tons, and the backstory. That, like I said, that one scene at the drug clinic, it's just everything. And then, we haven't got into this yet. The first fucking Jigsaw trap that you see, how fucking great was that? I mean, it's so simple. The dude who actually loses his unborn child. That dude.
That was really interesting too, because it's Jigsaw at his first, stages, and he's actually sitting there talking to the guy face to face, which is different, and the trap doesn't work. He breaks, and he beautifully lunges at him and falls in that fucking pile of razor wire.
Hey, you see the first one?
Oh, and you just see Jigsaw being like, yeah, hey, this razor wire thing might be a good idea.
Right.
I'd love that part, yeah.
I love how it plays off, like in every other kill you see in this series, when he does the tape, someone presses play on a tape and it reads a spiel, about, what the test is about and whatnot. He actually says it right to this guy's face as he's doing it. It plays just like what his tapes do. And I thought that was cool to see, like, the birth of that type of fucking, like, preaching.
It was strange, though, because he actually recorded something for him, but
I
he just didn't
noticed
use
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, he was practicing with the puppet and recording everything. Yeah. Isn't that odd? I wonder why he did that.
Yeah,
but I guess it shows him coming up, different aspects of his game.
He's figuring it out. It's like the first time you jerk off. You don't know what you're doing.
Oh, dude, that was a fucking horrible experience for me. Horrible.
You don't know what you're doing, but you figure it out.
It hurt. Now, what did you guys think of the pig mask origin story? I loved it, but I have a huge problem with it as well.
Why? Because that wasn't the year of the pig? Researched it? That was the year of the fucking banana and stuff?
It was the year of the fucking banana, yeah. No, okay. Do you guys buy this for a second? Now, I do like the origin story for it. Like, oh, okay, that's where it all started for him. That's his motivation for using the pig mask. Okay, fine. But the fact that he chloroformed him in a fucking crowd of people and dragged him out of there without anybody noticing, fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah,
that I just don't buy at all. I mean, there's certain stretches you can make, leaps you can make with these movies and stuff like that, but how do you not see somebody dragging another human being all chloroformed out fucking in a crowd of people? You know what I mean?
Movie magic. They just smash cut to the next scene.
That's pretty much what they did, yeah.
They should have done it like Trick or Treat did with the fucking, when it was on a Halloween party. You remember on Trick or Treat how fucking the guy seduces or kills the one girl with his fucking teeth and he gets away with it because he's dressed up like a vampire and he fucking basically kills her right in front of fucking people, but nobody notices because it's a big party atmosphere. It's Halloween. Everybody has costumes on anyway.
Well, that's like Scream 2. Yeah, Jada Pinkett. That's like Scream 2. When she's screaming, everybody's like, get out of here, bitch.
That scene where he abducts Cecil, it really pissed me off because...
Did it?
Well, not now. Not anymore. Because at first I was like, okay, this is how he gets the whole pig mask thing because he abducted him during this parade. I'm like, that doesn't really gel very well, It's not very... it's like, why would, just because of that, would you continue to do this? But then, But then there's actually a line where Strom is interrogating Jill. Is that her name? The wife. Yeah, Jill.
She'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah, and she talks about their son, Gideon, and how, and blah, blah, blah. And she says that, you know, his birth or her being pregnant at that time was not an accident. And she alludes to the fact that John Kramer plans everything out so much, he specifically wanted the child to be born during the Year of the Pig. She asked the detective, she's like, do you know anything about the Chinese zodiac, calendar and stuff like that? And I'm like, wow, he's such a control freak that he wants his child to be born on a certain part of the year. I thought that was interesting. That they explained it that much, but him just doing it on a whim in a parade kind of pissed me off. But I'm glad this time I picked that line up. It made a lot more sense.
Oh, it does. It definitely does, man. Yeah.
No, it's great. It's a great deduction by you. Wow. I see. There you go. But the thing is, I didn't mind that he adopted that as the pig. He probably went with it and said, hey, pigs are fucking beautiful. We fucking, it's horror movies. There's always pigs in.
I think you just watched Motel Hell one too many times, and
but I'll be honest with you guys, okay? Even if the explanations aren't that good, at least they gave it a shot to explain it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you got to appreciate those kind of little things that they put in, because we're fans of these movies and stuff like that. They know people are going to pick apart horror movies in general and try and look at continuity errors or plot holes, if you will. And just for them to even think of a line like that, like you said, Matt, is great. Now, it may take three people, in between all three of us to pick up on everything, and I'm sure we're missing some stuff too. But I love that, man. And let's just say they're the most bogus fucking explanations ever. Whatever, dude. They took the time to explain it, even in the slightest. Hey, you get a pass by me. A for effort.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It shows that they care about the fans and what they think, and they're not just let's just churn out another Friday the 13th. Who gives a fuck? We'll have some some chick resurrect him. Who cares?
Right,
and all this stuff. So yeah, it shows that they care about the series and the character. One thing I really enjoyed about this movie, seeing Jigsaw pre-Jigsaw, was the fact that Tobin Bell really plays him completely different before the turn. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he's like an entirely different man. He's he seems like a normal human being. He's in love with his wife. He's got a great life and all this stuff. Seems like an entirely different person. And once that that they lose the kid, boom, he just changes instantly.
In that, Matt, you see him for the first time getting mad, too, and throwing shit around and getting angry and physical, and it's like, whoa, shit, like you never see, because he's always so calm and collected, you know what I mean? Almost just like a fucking high.
Because that scene is like literally like before he's figured out, I need to fucking get this out in another way. Yeah.
I need to get my shit together, yeah.
Well, I was a Jigsaw apologist right off the bat. I said I liked the character. I went into everything and said I wish there was one in every town, yada, yada, yada. But then as we pick these movies apart, I've seen it and we discussed it, that some of the acts were fucking deplorable and that people weren't given a chance. And he was, more of a murderer than I remembered. But it seems like I remember the Jigsaw more. I think that's when I really get into this series is, 4 and on. I shouldn't say that, but the character of Jigsaw. You get into it more as the series progresses. Well, I think from this movie on out, he is more. You become more sympathetic with him, and some people start fucking siding with him, and it's just the way he plays it. And you see his, most of what he does now is warranted. The people he fucks with are more, they're not as innocent as the people in the first two or maybe even the third movie.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you, Lincoln Park."
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah, holy shit.
Oh, that's funny. But he goes off, but he's easy to sympathize with, and you see him. Because honestly, not just the victims, but in him and the way he preaches, but the way he comes up and the loss he goes through. First of all, he loses the fucking baby at 7 months. That is fucking bad enough for... It isn't like a miscarriage at a month or two. This is the 7th month. The bond a lot of people have formed with their child by this time is strong.
I thought it was a couple months. He said
no, 7 months. No, and look Look how much she's showing. You can clearly tell she's pregnant. You know
No, because when they bring her in, he's talking to that nurse from the third one too.
Yeah, he says 7 months. That's exactly what it says. She's 7 months pregnant. He says.
Oh, I thought he said a couple. Okay.
No, but look at how she's showing. That's proof positive enough. You could see when the baby was killed. Yeah, she's fucking showing pretty solid. But first that happens to him, and that's devastating for anybody. At that point, you're all excited. You got the shit bought. Whatever. You're pretty much invested by month 7, and
I'd say so.
Yeah, it's a serious thing in life. So then that, and then getting the cancer, and then fucking driving off, and then surviving that, and then you see everything else he went through, and the way it hit him. That's why I become an apologist for him, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think other people get into his character and they start feeling bad for him because they see what the fuck the man's gone through.
I guess the template to make a fucking crazy good villain is to give him cancer. I mean, look at fucking Heisenberg. Look at fucking Jigsaw. I mean, fucking chemo must be a motherfucker, dude. Jesus Christ.
No joke.
And then he gets into that car accident, too, where he's fucking ripping the pole out of it. Yeah, that poor bastard, dude. I feel for him, dude.
That's what I'm saying. And don't you think his motives from now on, what you see and what you learn, become a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
I fucking hate drug companies and insurance.
Oh, yeah, all that shit, too. Yeah. The shit that goes on in 5 and 6. All the conspiracies. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And, of course, the people in this. But it progresses more. But like Matt, what I'm saying? How we've been discussing it the whole time.
Yeah, I do. But also at the same time, putting Gordon in a trap because his bedside manner isn't good. Nah, it's stretching it.
But it continues on. We learn more about him as it goes too. It isn't just his bedside manner. There's more. He alludes to it again.
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm wrong, then I agree with you. But that's what I'm saying. Saw 1 and 2. That's different. Yeah. I completely agree. You opened my eyes to that watching this. As we were watching and we dissected the movies, I came to realize it myself. You know what? You're right, man. Fucking he did do things that don't fit. But from now on, pretty much his MO from like 4 and on, it all makes sense.
You're right about that.
It does.
Yeah.
That's why I'm into him. Yeah, that's what it is. I didn't realize it till this viewing around because we dissected the movies thus far.
I could let you go. But that wouldn't serve you. I'll tell you what I will do, though. I'll give you a tool to reclaim your life and to discard the vices that have so corrupted your soul. You see, things aren't sequential. Good doesn't lead to good, nor bad to bad. People steal, don't get caught, live the good life. Others lie and cheat and get elected. Some people stop to help a stranded motorist and get taken out by a speeding semi. There's no accounting for it. How you play the cards you're dealt, that's all that matters. Look at me. You understand what I'm saying to you? Whoa! What the fuck is that? It's the tool. The tool that's gonna save your life. I want to play a game.
Well, let's talk about some of the shit that Jigsaw is famous for, these traps. This first trap that Rigg runs into in his own goddamn apartment is what I call the bad wig trap, or slash the Joe Dirt trap, because when this chick is fucking done, she looks like goddamn Joe Dirt with that fucking hair, dude. Jesus Christ. Now, I didn't understand. Okay, apparently, as we talked about, all these people that Rigg confronts are criminals who had gotten off by this lawyer. But I didn't understand why she was a convicted felon. There's pictures hanging up and stuff like that. I didn't is she a prostitute? I don't know what her deal is.
I don't know either. Do you, Dan? I don't know. I know
when I last saw it, it was weird, but I could be totally wrong, and somebody just put me in my place if I am wrong, but I want to say when he saw the pedophile, too, that she was in one of his pictures, too. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe she was a prostitute and she had a bad John or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I just believe that it was one of, probably a prostitute, one of the people that Riggs put away or helped put away or something like that, And speaking
Yeah, I
of the
guess
Joe
so.
Dirt fucking kill, that she really does try and stab him in the face with a soldering iron too.
Yeah, because yeah, we find out that Jigsaw is playing both sides of this thing. He's like, "Hey, you want to live and not go to jail? Well, you got to kill this fucker," and Rigg wouldn't have encountered any of that if he just would have left her be.
And they told him that. That's what his tape said. Fucking walk away. Right off the bat. Once again, he's being told, do not fucking proceed. We know that, this is what your plan is, or this is what you do. Walk away. That's fucking what it says.
Okay, you're a fucking cop. You might be a SWAT guy or something, but let's say, Dave, you wake up in your bathtub and you're like, what the fuck? You walk down, and you see this chick in this fucking weird chair. And what do you do? Do you like?
I'll tell you what you do.
You call the cops, right?
Yes.
You call for help.
Yes,
Why
you
does
call
he
the
do
cops.
that?
But listen, if he would have sat there, they both would have existed. Nothing started with that trap until fucking something was touched. Either she did something or he did something.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, he heard the tape, okay? He could have fucking got FBI, all kinds of people in there to fucking assist in the situation and have an end. Obviously, they weren't gonna, we can't just say for them, well, this is my life now, and fucking she's gonna live in his fucking in his living room, and he's just gonna be hanging out there with no wife.
Now, be honest, guys. Before you would call the cops, you'd cop a quick feel, right? That's not right?
Jesus.
Yeah, give me a little Hummer, maybe I'll fucking let you
Maybe, right?
So, okay, another trap. Rigg goes to this sleazy hotel, really fucking sleazy. I guess he finds a couple keys at his apartment, and this movie has got way too many fucking keys. There's
Oh
keys.
my God,
there's
right.
keys being thrown around. I am fucking confused as fuck. Strom threw a key at Hoffman in the beginning.
Yep.
Rigg has 2 keys going on here. I think somebody else has a key.
Which key is it? The guy says to Jill, fucking when he's trying to get in, she's like, this one.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus
Oh, dude,
Christ.
it's everywhere.
Too many
Yeah, they're
fucking
eating-
keys.
fucking
Yep.
key lime pie and everything.
It really is, dude. Yeah, you're right.
But Rigg goes to this hotel. He goes up to this room that he has a key for. He finds all this shit that Jigsaw leaves, but the impression I get is that while Rigg plays this tape from Jigsaw, he sits down on the bed. Would you be touching anything in this
No.
fucking hotel? Oh my God. He's getting HIV for sure.
Run by a pedophile. And what was the dude's fucking problem when he walked in? The homeless dude? He was
Yeah.
like, hey,
What you doing?
And
Yeah.
I want to, guys, I'm trying to figure who that actor is. I know I've seen that guy in something as, creepy guy number 1 or whatever. But, why was he fucking with him? That didn't make any sense.
He probably comes back in like Saw 6 or something.
Maybe, you know what, dude? I think you're right. I
Yeah.
actually
Come
think you're right.
He probably does, Dave.
Really? What guy are you talking about? The guy
The guy in the hallway. Yeah, the guy in the hallway.
Not the pedophile, not the
No.
raper. Just that guy that's there that they're bickering about something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
because he's like, who is it? He's like, hey, who are you? Get back here.
like he works there or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
like-
guy
and
just
then-
kicks him out.
And then that's when the pedophile's like, yeah, you can't sleep here. You gotta go. That guy's cool, but you gotta go. Yeah. It was just, it was so random. I don't know.
Maybe he does come back, or maybe it's just to show that the fucking this seedy motel has a lot of fucking ridiculous
seedy.
drama going on, and fucking
Right.
the guy's distracted, so that
Right.
might help
Right.
his clientele. That might help fucking Art Blank get these fucking things in there, or who's ever doing it to set up that equipment for the
Yeah,
trap.
I love how Perez is like, how the fuck would somebody set this trap up? And Strom is just like, piece by piece.
Yeah.
It's like, how would you get all this shit in a hotel without anybody noticing?
Exactly. A lot
Yeah,
of this shit. Yeah.
That was my problem too, but then there you go. That's
they
good enough of
explained
an
it.
explanation for me,
Yeah.
and time. 6 months. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So-
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but this trap, this is one of my favorite traps in this film. You got this fucking fat, disgusting pig,
Gross, dude.
tied down to the bed, and he has to blind himself, or he'll be ripped limb from limb. And he tries to do it, and he fails ultimately. I guess he's given a time limit, but watching his limbs get ripped apart is fucking awesome.
Oh, my
I
God.
love that part in this flick.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
It's a highlight.
Great gore. Great gore.
Yep. I hate pedophiles, obviously, like everybody does too. So I was just waiting for, because you knew he wasn't going to survive, this fat fuck. But
we've been calling him a pedophile. Is he a pedophile or just a rapist?
Rapist, same thing. Whatever.
Okay, all right, just making sure, because we at one time I think all three of us have referred to him as a pedophile.
Well, whatever. Yeah, you're
no,
right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think he calls her a little horse, so yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah, maybe, right? Maybe he's doing both. Okay.
They
should have got the guy from Human Centipede Part 2 in there.
Oh my God. Get him in there squealing.
That was a bad casting. Should have got it.
Oh my God. Well, I like to think about that actor. He's playing this fucking this repugnant individual, but probably in real life he's probably like the nicest, most friendliest guy in the world. But he's playing this fucking dirtbag that you just want to get ripped apart. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. See, that's another guy that in this series where you fucking start having little to no pity for fucking a lot of the quote unquote victims.
Now, that Rigg, I also have a problem with this, in that Rigg gets there. His ultimate goal is to find Matthews, I guess, because he knows Matthews is still out there. That's his ultimate goal. Yep. And so he keeps jumping through these hoops and stuff to find him. He's like, I got this time limit. I got to find him. But would you put this guy in this trap willingly like this? Would you be like, well, I got to do this, otherwise I'm not going to find Matthews. I could potentially be murdering this guy, but I'm going to do it. Well, don't you think you just take a step back and just be like, no, I'm calling the cops. Get back up in here.
Yeah, but he's all too familiar with Jigsaw's MO. He's on the cases. He sees everything that happens. He knows you got to play by the rules or you're fucked, and it's all on time limit, and you got to fucking get it done. There's no time to question. There's no time to call. There's no time to fucking anything. It's boom, boom, boom. Get the fucking job done before the test and the time limit fucking expire.
Yeah.
And if you're a rapist, that time to think is diminished by like barely 5 seconds. You're like, fuck you, get in the fucking chair.
That's true, right? Yeah, he's a cop, a good guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He seems
right.
like a true blue fucking kind of guy.
But that's the point of these movies, is like kind of, because you go through all these different people, you find out what they do or what they've done in the past, and some people don't really deserve it. They're just victims of circumstance, and some people really do. The rapist definitely. But even like the judge in the third one or whatever, it's like, that poor bastard got hit by the shotgun or whatever, but he was a good dude, man, and he just fucking died for no reason. Like, there's a lot of people that you feel for more than others, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And that's what this series plays with, which is, well, one, what would you do if you were in the traps, for one, and second of all, it just plays on like, well, would you be able to do this if you were put in the same circumstance?
Yeah, it's thought-provoking, to say the least.
It is, right? I mean, I think about if you had a family member at the end of that tunnel and you found out you got to fucking, kind of play God with a bunch of rapists and whatever. I mean, I can't say which way I'd go, but I'll tell you what, fucking I'd at least think about it,
Sure.
Yeah.
You just lost 50 listeners.
Fuck this.
I don't think we have 50 fucking listeners.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, thanks for being generous. Yeah, Jesus.
Right, yeah, there you go.
But then the last, I guess it's the last trap, one of the last traps that Rigg encounters, he goes to the school, and it turns out, I guess, it's a school that we learned that he had an altercation with this family with previously, and it's also a good scene that shows some bonding between Hoffman and Rigg, So I guess that backs up Dave's theory of him wanting to help him out and stuff like that. But
remember he said we chose this. He told him. Mm-hmm. It just occurred to me. I thought that was a significant line. Remember he told him, he goes, cherish your life, and they were talking about it. He goes, remember, we chose this. He told him. So, anyway, I'll get off the topic. It just
no, you're right. No. Yeah. Hoffman gets his back too in that situation where he decks the dude, and he's just like, "Nope, I saw it." Like he really puts himself out there for Rigg.
I tell you what, when they're in that flashback and they focus in on the father putting his finger to his mouth, shushing his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you want to murder that motherfucker?
Yeah.
Oh, that is the worst, dude. He's like, you fucking sleazy son of a bitch. And they do a great job of making you want to fucking these people to die.
That's what I'm saying. From this, I honestly think maybe I'll be proven wrong if we don't get out of here and we keep reviewing the series. That fucking from Saw 4 on, that the victims are more, you sympathize less and less as it goes on, and just about, maybe, I'm not going to say 100%, make an ass of myself, but I think probably the vast majority, from just going off of memory, is that there's more justification in Jigsaw's actions,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so
Rigg finds this couple, I guess after the fact, after she had already killed her husband, so to speak. They're kind of pinned together in some weird kind of thing, whereas if she pulls out a rod, then it's going to loosen and open up a main artery, and this guy, he's going to bleed out. Really? Because I didn't really like this one that much.
You know what I liked about it, though? And there's a couple like this, going back to the one for that original dude. I keep forgetting his name. The guy who kills his unborn baby.
Cecil. Beanie and Cecil. Yes,
yeah. Between Cecil and then this one, I just like the simplicity of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's two people stuck together by a bunch of rods. Like, it's not an intricate trap. Like, and that's what I like about it. It's almost like, James Bond in Skyfall or Mission Impossible 3, where, they get fucking stripped of all their shit and it's just kind of bare bones fucking simple shit,
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but
it's not.
But it's
cool.
No.
I appreciate it. It's cool because they don't. Because for me, all the traps, they keep getting more crazier as the series go on, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, we talked about Chester Bennington with the car, and there's so many fucking crazy things that it's cool to see something as simple as, okay, well, at these particular points, if you pull it, this guy, like it at least lets it pose the question too. It lets the weapon itself pose the question which is, can you kill this person, or will you kill this person that beat you or whatever, what I mean? It lets it take care of itself,
and it's cool because it's a two-person trap. It's all thought out, that they got to pull these things, and she has to make a conscious decision that she knows when she pulls him out, the more she pulls, the more he's gonna get fucked. So he's saying, hey, it's time you fucking step away from this thing. Live your fucking life and everything else. Leave him. Take control of your life because you don't deserve fucking. But you know what? Turn your back on this fucking guy now and get the fucking
it's metaphorical.
Yes, it's great. Yeah. And then at the very end, she can't pull the last one out. Rigg has to do it. So it ultimately comes to Rigg. Are you going to, agree and help her pass this test and pull it out? Do you want to heal along with me or not?
Right.
And if so, this is your first test to see. Or whatever. This is the test to see if you are capable of fucking healing at the expense of, when you pull this thing out, the other guy's going to die. But guess what? That's his fucking, I'm judging him, whatever, So that's why I think it's cool. It's not the coolest trap, but it's well thought out. And it is. It's pretty brilliant from that perspective of the, Rigg being recruited to this fucking way of thinking.
Right. Yeah, I guess I should like it better because you're right, I like the simple traps better. Two guys, chained to a wall, they got a saw through their feet. A guy trapped in a razor wire room, stuff like that. It's like, the rack, that's probably the most famous Jigsaw trap. At the same time, there's some serious... Yeah, Jonathan Gore. There's some serious engineering going on with that trap. Brought it back.
Again.
Anyways, there's a really kick-ass moment after this husband-wife trap, in that the forensics are in there, sweeping the room and shit like that, and something happens, and this chick gets blasted through the face with a fucking rod out of nowhere, dude.
That's one of my favorites.
I love that.
It's great.
Because it's so random, dude. You're just like, you don't even know this bitch either. You're like, she's not a character, but she gets fucking toasted, dude.
Yeah, big time.
Hey, guys. Was that Stretch from fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
Holy shit, yeah. Oh my god.
I'm telling you, I thought it was her.
Yeah, it did look like her. I think that was just to set up the next part, which was we actually get a live Billy the Puppet thing, and Agent Perez gets fucking, shot, a load shot in the face as well.
Never a good day.
Yeah.
I like that though, because I thought that was a good idea. First of all, let's whisper to get her into, okay, boom, right in your face. But what I liked about that was, how you said about the detective. I'm so bad with names. What is it? Strom.
Strom.
when he has to call her family on the phone, dude, it's a quick little flash scene, but it's fucking good, man, and it's good for character development because that's what everybody rags on these movies for is there's no character development. I beg to differ. I just think that you gotta let go of things easier with these movies, especially knowing everybody's gonna die. It doesn't mean you can't feel for them, in the heat of the moment, in the thick of things, because in that particular instance, I was like, oh wow, this is fucking pretty intense. He's fucking crying over the phone and then just as the movies do, as you, the audience member, should do, it quickly moves along. Like they're not going to stay on that moment, but you got to have those beats to ground it in reality somewhat.
The traps and the gore shine so bright that for the average viewer, it's hard to see anything but that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys like us, we're looking at the actual characters, the actual storyline, and all that shit. So
it's great. And it's too bad that people don't all get that, and that's
fuck them, Dave. More for us.
Fuck yeah, right on. That's true. That's right, brother. It's not for everybody.
You don't like Saw? Right. Fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're right, man. And you know what? I'll tell you what. Back to Peter Strahm. I guess he's not such a prick because that was a good scene. Right. You know what I think it is about fucking Strahm? Yeah, I think he reminds me of an old fucking boss I used to have at another job that looked like him.
There it is, folks.
Fucking, he was a little fucking cocky and arrogant, and I think when I see him, it's a psychological thing that I attribute to him.
You want to put a box over his head and fill it with water?
Yeah, there you go. I think that might be.
Get out of this, motherfucker! Tell me to work overtime. I don't think so. I'm going home.
Do you or any member of your family have a problem with monkeys, chimps, or orangutans?
Are these pesky primates invading your home, looking for shelter?
Does the constant squealing and crying of these pets keep you awake at night?
Are you constantly dodging fecal matter being thrown around your house?
If this sounds like you and your loved ones, then we have the solution.
BananaLaser. Never be fearful of your children watching these beasts fornicate or masturbate again. BananaLaser.
That's right, with
BananaLaser.
You don't have to live with this problem anymore. Just simply aim and pull the trigger. You'll blast, zap, and blow these troublesome monsters to kingdom come.
Just 3 easy payments of $79.99, and this death ray will be on your doorstep in 3 to 6 months. BananaLaser.
100% fine quality Filipino craftsmanship made by the most well-trained 10-year-olds.
So order BananaLaser today at 314-720-8842 or bananalaser@gmail.com. And also BananaLaser makes the perfect gift for any occasion.
Hope to hear from you soon. Just remember,
BananaLaser.
Take your stinky paws off you
damn dirty ape.
Another bit of trivia, Hoffman, he's named after one of the producers that actually passed away. I think somewhere around the release of Part 3 or something like that.
What? I thought he was linked in all the rest of them. I thought he was in 5, 6, 7. Really? Because I always noticed the name Hoffman.
Yeah,
I always remember that.
I believe they kept his name on there out of respect.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he died.
Shit.
And,
really?
yeah.
No shit.
Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking nice of him. That's a nice fucking tribute to somebody, you know?
Yeah, and it's a badass sounding name, Hoffman. I don't know.
It is pretty badass, you're right. Fuck yeah. Who says horror movie fans don't have any heart either? Fuck you guys.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People say that, fuck those people.
Yeah, right? Fuck them.
So, yeah, and then, the movie's winding down. Rigg, he figures out where he has to go, which is there's been tiny clues laid out throughout this entire thing that there's the warehouse that Jigsaw named his son after. It's a meat packing plant, which is kind of weird, but he named his son after Gideon Meat Packing. And so there's all these G's written in the letters and stuff that are in the same font as that meat packing plant and stuff like that. So he picks up on all these clues. He runs over there. Strahm finally figures it out after Perez is, fucked up. so they're both heading to this warehouse, and this is the warehouse where Saw 1 took place,
Right.
Saw 2 took place. All these movies took place at this warehouse. I think that's pretty cool that we finally see the outside of where all these, events went down.
Yeah, but with that said, you'd think the police would check it maybe again? I don't know.
It's like that school. The school with it's like there's just a rundown school, in the middle of nowhere.
And dude, on top of that, when Strom's about to run in and he calls for backup, I don't have 2 minutes. Motherfucker, with everything you bet, wait 2 minutes, dog. Wait 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah,
if you wait 2 minutes, your life will exponentially fucking have a higher rate of fucking survival. But it's just that whole thing. Could you guys feel the tension at that point? Because you knew the movie was almost over. You knew that big scene where they fucking reveal everything. And that's what I loved about that. You know how every movie's got it when they show the flashbacks and kind of bring everything together for you? I get closer to the screen and fucking open my eyes really wide every time that happens. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
With this version of that, though, when they hit that, it's almost like more like an explanation or kind of a viewpoint more than like explanation. You know what I mean? It almost like kind of spells it out for you as opposed to shows you in flashbacks, which they do that too. But I noticed they were less heavy on that and more of, okay, this is what's going on right now. Remember this scene. Okay, go back. It was just, it was more direct in my opinion. So, yeah.
But here's another problem with everything lining up. As you said, I guess Rigg went down one hallway and Strom went down another,
Right.
So it's like,
right.
Who's to say that they ended up where they were supposed to be? Because
once again, right.
They ended up exactly where Jigsaw wanted them to be, which is Strom ends up in the room where Jigsaw was operated on, and you got Lynn laying there with her fucking no head Lynn going on, and he blasts Jeff in the and he kills Jeff, and then we haven't really talked about this that much, but this entire time Hoffman has been set up in this trap with Detective Matthews, this fucking elaborate ice electrocution kind of trap with Detective Matthews. And just before this ending, they see that this door is rigged with these gigantic ice blocks above Matthew's head.
This poor bastard, dude.
Oh, my God.
One of the best traps ever.
This takes the fucking cake for me, dude. When fucking Rigg bursts through that fucking door. And I'm so glad they showed it. I'm so glad because they didn't show Lynn's head get blown off, in part 3, and they couldn't have, they could have not shown Matthew's head getting smashed here, but they did, and thank God they did because it is glorious.
Yep.
Oh, like who would have thought ice would have fucking been so destructive? Ice. What the fuck?
And too, this was my favorite character, Matthews, and this poor bastard has, I believe, doesn't he have 2 broken feet, or because she kicks him in his other one, I believe, and he drops.
I think it's the same one, and she broke the fucking one ankle off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real? Okay. So yeah. Anyways, he's fucking hurting like Tim Burton. Yeah. Anyways, and the whole time he's just struggling to fucking stand up on the goddamn thing.
He tries to kill himself at one point. He's like, fuck it.
Exactly. Dude, personally, I would have taken the gun.
Yeah, he got the gun.
And just and I would have shot the chain that I was on. That's all.
Yeah. Why did he do something like that? I mean, I guess the lawyer was trying to prove, hey, I'm on your side.
I like the way he played that, Matt, because he was the only one to actually tell them, like, hey, listen, fucking, I'm not the one you should be mad at. And he was like, okay, we're almost out of it, guys. Like, that felt real to me. That felt like a dude who, that's what I would say in that circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, even if I had to do, Jigsaw's bidding or whatever, I'd still be real about it. Like, all right, motherfuckers, we're in this together. Sorry, I gotta fucking put you on the ice block, but yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he takes off his coat. He's like, see, I got this Vulcan neck grip thing on my back. What the fuck was that?
What was that? Yeah.
Was that going to cut his head off? I had no idea what the fuck that was. Yeah. He's like, this will release us, you know. It's like, what the fuck? I have no idea what's going on.
Electrocution, maybe? I don't know. It looks like it's up for a fucking spinal tap or something.
And you know what? That guy had a really wicked scar on the right side of his face. And that looked pretty cool. And I assume that was from the trap at the beginning of the movie. But his lips were sewn shut. It wasn't like the side of his face or anything.
Right. I'll tell you what. That's how I found out that was that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were trying to make it really obvious. Okay.
That's what I think for fucking dummies like me. Yes. There you go. Fucking. There's the cut. There's the thing. You know what? Yeah, I might not have picked that up until my second viewing. I wouldn't be one bit surprised.
And when those ice blocks fucking crushed his head, dude, I remember everybody going nuts in the fucking theater, dude. Like, glorious. That place fucking erupted, dude. Some people were horrified and some people were cheering. Like, fuck the fucking New Kids on the Block. For me personally, it was a mixture of both because that was my favorite character, but at the same time, it was such a cool kill that I was like, oh, fucking hell. That was, oh, God, that was bad.
Yeah, man. I know I fucking cheered when I saw it. It was great. You know, it could have been gorier. They could have showed the aftermath with, like, you know, Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween 2 when they show the aftermath of that fucking dude that gets stomped. That would have been cool. But it was definitely impactful because boom, you see him come together, and it's, you know, the impact of that fucking scene and seeing the two, you know, blocks dropping simultaneously. But you know what? I forgot to say fucking about that lawyer. I did know that was the lawyer. I realized that the lawyer was the fucking guy later on because of the Jill Tuck thing. When they had her in there, she was telling the story about fucking the lawyer and everything else, and when he came to visit him and Art Blank and how they were friends. And then you piece all that together about everything being in Art Blank's name and who is it. And then, you know, as the movie goes on and they're doing that cop drama shit, it all comes out.
There's a lot of characters in these movies, too, though, man. It's kind of easy to lose track. Like, if you don't pay attention to the series, like, say if you miss one of the Saw movies, like, you won't know what the fuck's going on, dude. You just won't.
Especially with this movie, because a lot of the main characters are dead. So they had to, like, okay, you're a main character now, Rigg.
Right.
He's like, what? I had one scene. Okay, Hoffman, you're a main character. What? I am? I had one line last time. Yeah, so...
Right. Exactly. See, that's what I love about it, though. Whether it was whether that was planned out or not, I just love shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think stuff like that, it like I said, that connective tissue is the stuff that connects series together. Like, you know, look at Friday the 13th, 3 and 4 even, where it picks up exactly at the barn and stuff like that. I've always been a sucker for that kind of stuff. You know, Back to the Future fucking 2. You know what I mean? You know,
what's the matter, Doc? We become assholes or something? Oh, man. So... Hey, Dave, I want
to Back to the Future.
I want to elaborate on that scene you were talking about with Jill and the lawyer, because I never thought Jill was that good looking until the scene. No, I didn't. Until the scene where she wore the tank top and brought her two friends along with her. I was like, okay, all right, I can get with this shit now.
Steady. Yeah, dude.
I never questioned her fucking hotness for a second.
I don't know. She looks like I don't know. She looks rugged. You know, like she smokes and drinks a lot or something. I don't know. I can't explain it. She looks like Rode Hard or something.
I don't know. She reminds me of Sherry Moon Zombie, kind of. I don't know. It's the same type of...
Her skin is all fucked up, and I don't know. But her body is fit, you know, so I'll give her that. So yeah, we're at the end. Fucking the lawyer guy shoots Rigg. Rigg shoots the lawyer guy. It's a real fucking weird situation. I think the lawyer guy died because of that, right?
Yeah, and then shot him in the head. Yeah,
and then that's right. And then Rigg is just there bleeding out, and all of a sudden Hoffman comes walking up. Hey, he got out. You know, oh, Hoffman's in on it. That's where we get the whole flashback of that. But you know, and Hoffman says game over to Rigg. And then walks out of the room. What happens to Rigg? I don't remember. Do we find out? Does he just bleed out or what?
He must, right? Because
he's locked in like the rest. Yep, deteriorating.
Yeah, but you would think that they would pick up that storyline later on. You're right, though. I'm very mad that they didn't because I love his character, man.
Because
Wow.
it seemed like he could have lived and done something else, even though he's clearly wounded. I mean, you know how these movies go. You get shot, it's nothing. It's just a flesh wound. But,
I forgot to bring something up about fucking Hoffman sitting in the chair, being tied up in that thing, and Art Blank, the lawyer guy, being that. I believe, actually, I don't think there's any other way. I think the entire time, Art Blank knows that Hoffman's running the show from where he's sitting. He would have to.
I disagree.
How could he not? Because you think he walked in there and fucking Hoffman was already sitting there?
Yes, because you see the lawyer walking in and he sets the door.
How does he know what to do though?
Well,
how does he know what to do? We're led to believe, at least what I got from it, was that we're led to believe that this is fucking this lawyer, because he comes in and he's right away. He's looking at the videos. He's all business. He's been there before. He knows what he's doing. He's not walking in there stumbling, saying, "Oh, what the fuck? What kind of a situation am I in?"
Yeah,
he walks right in there and he goes to work. So this has been an ongoing thing for him. So I totally think that Hoffman says, "This is the fucking deal. Yada yada. Make this fucking guy live." And this and that. And when that thing goes off, shit's gonna go down. So fucking, I'm calling the shot. I'm calling the fucking shots from right here. I don't think it can play out any other way.
When they look at each other, though, there's that moment like, oh, shit, like, I know this guy, so why would they show that? You know what I mean? When he looks directly at Hoffman and he recognizes him and vice versa. I forget whose perspective.
Does? I don't recall that happening.
Oh, it's like a big showdown where he's like, oh, fuck, that's the lawyer. Oh, fuck, that's Detective Hoffman. I forget what perspective they play it off of, but it's basically like a shock perspective. So I think you guys are both right. I think that he knows what he's got to do as far as the computer screens and shit like that. Maybe he has been there before, but I think it's the first time that he's seen Hoffman in there. Yeah, I don't know, but
Hoffman, I always crack up at this part. I guess maybe it's because Costas Mandylor is like Australian and he's doing an American accent. But there's one point where he's he's got the gag in his mouth and he's yelling at the lawyer and he's like, "You fucking hear me? I always just crack up at that point. I don't know why. It's just funny to me.
Oh, dude,
maybe that's why I got that. Maybe that's why I thought that he was reaffirming himself as the boss of this guy. You know what I mean? By fucking speaking to him in that manner.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that's the first time I probably thought of it. I'm like, you know what? I think he's fucking straight up fucking bossing this dude around because he's running the show and they're both aware of it.
Did you guys call that twist at all? Like, anybody think Hoffman was in on it, or
no? I didn't. No, I did. I knew the timeline twist because that's what motivated me to see this movie.
Okay.
I didn't even. I was done after 3. I'm like, I'm done. And then somebody told me, they're like, dude, check out 4. It takes place at the same time as 3. And me being a huge fan of Back to the Future and shit like that, I'm like, I want to check this shit out. And so the twist completely took me by surprise. I was shocked.
You fucking love 3, dude. I don't get that. Why would you be done after 3 if it was so fucking good?
Because he was dead. I was like,
that is right.
You know what I mean? It's like he's dead. Whatever they're gonna do after 3 with all these main characters dead is gonna be an abomination. That's what I thought. So it's like I don't want to see it. It's gonna be garbage. It's gonna be a money grab. You know what I mean?
Answer. No, I got you. I can see that situation. Okay.
Yep.
No,
it was great, and him say game over, this time was pretty good. It's not as satisfying as when Jigsaw says it ever, but
that's like someone else fucking saying, "I shot him 6 times."
We say it all the time.
It's nowhere near as good as Loomis can do. Yeah.
No.
We've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
That is.
Oh my god. Yeah, so fucking Strom stumbles upon Jeff, shoots the shit out of him, and is just standing there with his thumb up his ass, like, what the fuck's going on? And Hoffman
takes. Did Jigsaw plan that too? Like, this is what I don't get.
Yes, because you know why? Because in 3, whenever Amanda shoots Lynn, he says, "You just killed 4 people," and that would be Amanda, Lynn, Jigsaw, and Jeff. That's who he was talking about.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
See, I picked up on that, but I was too lazy to figure out who he was talking about. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it makes sense.
Yeah, so he knew, which is, it goes, against the plausibility theory big time. But,
it's cool.
Yeah. Yep, and so, fucking, Hoffman shuts the door on Strom, and Strom has no idea what the fuck's going on at this point.
Right.
And Hoffman walks away. Pretty badass moment.
Yeah.
And then we get the scene from the beginning, which is actually the end.
Yep.
Which works perfectly. It works perfectly as a bookend, but then it also takes on an entirely different meaning once you see it at the end. And it's like, this shit ain't over, motherfucker. You think you're Jigsaw?
Dude,
I'm Jigsaw.
See, once again, Matt, another thing that adds to this series where it just shows you that they are adding another element in which isn't gore related, which isn't anything but just good writing. You know what I mean? Like they did that on Bates Motel. Remember the first scene in Bates Motel where they show fucking Norman waking up and his dad's dead, and then you go back to that scene, fucking in episode 10 or whatever, and it totally completely takes on a whole different thing, and it's like every look you look at differently, everything you look at differently, and I think that's the best, dude. That's the best I just saw another movie that just did it too very well, and shit like that to me is movie magic, dude. That's what it's all about, and movies that do that, I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for. I can't think of too many that do that I don't like,
Mm-hmm. I've talked about this before, and as much as I might not like some of this series, I've bought and sold. I've bought these movies multiple times because you can always go back to them. It's like they're that interesting. They're that intriguing. There's so much going on that you're going to see different stuff every time. Even now, I've watched this movie probably 6 times. I'm still noticing stuff for the first time.
6 times!
I saw it 6 times!
Goddamn Loomis. Oh, man.
These movies are great, dude, and people don't give them enough credit, and that's the thing. I guess if people are listening to it and haven't seen it, that's kind of weird, but if you haven't seen any of the Saw movies, please go out and look at it. At least give them a shot, dude. I mean, there's so many slashers out there that are so mindless, dude, and these movies are the exact opposite. They make you think, they make you, they have a lot of callbacks. No pun intended, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, the way all these movies connect to each other, If you were to map out a big timeline, dude, I could just see a big fucking spider web of intricacies. I said that word right. Don't worry. And dude, these movies are great. I love this fucking series, dude. I love the Saw movies.
Are you there, detective? If so, you are probably the last man standing. Now perhaps you will succeed where the others have failed. You think you will walk away untested. I promise that my work will continue. You think it's over just because I'm dead. It's not over. The games have just begun.
Let's give out some fucking awards here. Banana Split, Best Kill. To me, there's no doubt in my mind. Matthew's ice block head smash.
Yep.
To me. Boom.
Yep.
After the 4th time, I've changed my mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it lost its impact upon this. I don't know. Just for me, I know it's coming. It's great. It's awesome. But I'm more into the very first trap with fucking Cecil with his face up against the fucking knives, because I could almost feel that pain, that type of fucking. I could put myself in that scene, like we've talked about before with the slit of the throat or something like that. We're around knives a lot. You could see that, and then not even just that. As I'm watching it, I'm saying, man, if I was that guy, I would just go right through it really fast. He's making it worse by going back and forth. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid,
Right.
Just fucking boom, right. Go through. I would if I'm in that position. I think that works out the best. And then that's just the first half. But the second half and the fucking when Jigsaw moves out of the way, anticipates him coming to get him, and he gets fucking
like
in the
bull.
barbed wire.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Olay.
It's like that scene in Suspiria in the fucking barbed wire. But just because it's a 2-part kill, and I think that both are really cool, my banana split's going to go to that one for creativity and the impact.
Nice. All right, how about banana you'd most like to peel? Hottest chick. I went back and forth on this. because there's not too many chicks in this, and I thought Perez was pretty good looking. But it was when Jill busted out those puppies that I gotta give it to her.
Oh, yeah. This is tough. Well, Dina Myers isn't in the equation anymore, so let's. Yeah, but I don't know if this counts though. I'd hit the chick from Part 2 when she fucking. She said
that counts.
Movie.
Yeah,
that's kind of cheating.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey man, she's in this movie, so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Who from Part 2?
The fucking Hispanic chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, they do flashback to Part 2, huh?
No, they don't flash back. She's
outside of the drug court.
It isn't a backflash, but
backflash.
Yeah, she's talking to Jigsaw and she's like hitting on him. For
that's her.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Motherfucker. Yep. I think I knew that upon earlier viewings, but forgot about it this time around for some reason. Okay.
You're a pretty girl. Go home.
Yeah, I think I did forget. And she does look nice. You're right. That's a good
she's
call,
beautiful,
man.
dude. She's in a lot of bad sci-fi movies, but yeah.
Wow.
She's a good actress, though. I like her.
Wow. You took me by surprise, and I'm almost swayed, but not completely.
But you're right, though. There's not a lot of titties in this movie, is there?
There isn't in the whole series, really. There isn't a whole lot to choose from each movie.
I'd take Dina Myers in the first, second, and
Buddy, I've been going off about her for 3 years.
You guys are nuts with that.
High five.
Oh, dude, she's a dirty birdie every fucking
just because she
I
took
can't
her
get that out
top
of my
off
head.
in Starship Troopers.
Not just that. Her role in 90210
She's
when I first saw her when I was young. Fucking Dylan. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I have yet to do a podcast in the year so far yet without a fucking 90210 reference.
God.
Oh, don't get me started, my God.
So
yeah, she's a corpse, so she's not going to count. I would like to count her, but I can't. She's got her praise in the other ones for me, so whatever.
So who do you pick?
No, I gotta go with Jill Tuck. I do think she's hot.
Oh, Jill's okay.
Yeah,
yeah, I do. Despite what Matt said, maybe now he pointed some things out that I might pick up on now. But that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
now,
she's better looking. I looked her up, and she's like a brunette. I don't know if she dyed her hair. She's
really?
much better looking as a brunette. Yeah.
Wow.
I think she gets sexier as the series goes on, and she gets more evil. Is that? I mean, I don't know if one has to do with the other, but because there is more to her character in those two. There is a lot in this one, but damn, at least she ain't pregnant in those.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
No, she gets more cunning in the future ones, and she starts a different side to her, and she's basically going with Jigsaw now and that mentality. Right. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, she is more of a bad girl as it goes on. Right now, we're not so sure about her. She's the chick we don't really know about, but she still looks, at least from where I sit. So yeah, we're splitting that fucking.
And we all kept it classy. None of us picked the prostitute. That was good.
Oh, the Joe Dirt chick. God,
trying to stab Riggs in the face with a fucking soldering iron.
My God. Yeah. So let's rate this motherfucker. I just don't even know yet. Dan Chase, you're the guest of honor, sir. Why don't you go ahead?
We rating it 1 to 5, 1 to 10.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
Oh, okay. Man. Now, there is somewhat nostalgia going in with this, but I'd say for the most part, I just saw this today. Dude, this is a fucking solid watch, man. I'd give this a 4 out of 5. I definitely, I really love this movie, and the rewatchability is up there, and I think any solid flick, for you to put a movie up there with your favorite in the series and shit like that, the rewatchability has to be there, and for this one, it's totally there. And we could go over this movie, we could watch it 10 more times and probably still find fucking 50 more little things that we missed. So yeah, man, 4 out of 5. I love this one.
Beautiful. All right, Dave, you're up, dude.
Well, I'll tell you, here's the best part. The good news is, if you would have asked me this a week ago, I would have given it a fucking 2.
Ooh.
I would have a week ago, absolutely. But after watching it again and things finally coming together, I seen it did make sense to me. Something, not the entire thing. I still have my beefs with the guys in the beginning. A couple other things, and the plausibility of some of it.
Right.
This has been a very interesting fucking talk because my eyes have been open to some things, and I've opened your guys' eyes up to some things, I think, and there's been a lot of, thinking about the series as a whole. But it's a good movie. I was wavering between 4, 3.5, and I think after today's discussion, I'll say 3.5.
All right.
3.5.
That's solid.
Okay. I really enjoy this movie. Like you said, the rewatchability is there. What they do with the characters to expand on the whole mythology is pretty intelligent.
Yep.
I gave part 1 a 3. I liked it, but I wasn't completely overwhelmed with it. The twist and the idea behind it is what sells it.
Right.
I gave 2 a fucking 2 because I don't like it. The characters are terrible, and they still haven't really figured out what Jigsaw is. Now, 3, I gave a fucking 5 because I think that's the perfect. No, what I give it? I gave it a 4.5.
Yes,
that's what almost the perfect Saw movie. They really
3's great.
Yeah, they really got Jigsaw perfect, and this one is I think the best follow up that they could have done, given that their lead villain, quote unquote villain / hero, is dead. And so for them to do what they did is extremely intelligent.
Yes.
So I'll give this a 4. I'm going 4.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
hey,
I really like this flick.
Not bad. I almost gave it a 4. I was close. So.
There's no shame in that 3.5, Dave.
No, right on. Right, yeah, especially since, like I said, I would have given it a fucking 2 a week ago. So.
Well, And that's the thing. We could have went either way with these movies because there's certain aspects where you could focus in on and say, I don't like this, and that. But it's the overall of first of all the movies, but especially this movie. It's just the specific things going on. Which I don't know if this had to do with your ratings either, but a lot has to do with the future installments in mind too, like where it leads to or going back in time. The origin stories. I kind of feel like all the movies intertwine or interweave with each other, but this is a solid fucking point in the series, and it ties up a lot of loose ends. It goes back to a lot of origin stories. The best origin story, the story of Jigsaw. So I think overall, this is one of the best Saw flicks of the series. And you're right, 3 is up there too. 3 is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a great series, man. It's a great series, and I give it a 3.5 because I think it goes up the next 2. But we'll see.
I give it a 10, a fucking 10.
10.
Wait, Dave, you say you think it goes up?
Yes,
on the next
I do.
Entry. Oh man, interesting.
Jesus.
Yes.
Well,
I believe from now. I won't spoil it, but we'll see. But that's what I think. I think 5 and 6, I might rate higher. Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck. I guess we'll get there unless.
Fuck. I'm assuming here.
Yeah. Who knows? Dan might.
Maybe Dan saved us.
Dan might get us the fuck out of here. We'll find out here in a second. So Dan, now that we've reviewed Saw 4, join Dave and I in the sweet dance routine from earlier. Maybe just move that dead body on the floor to clear some room. Kind of tough since we're chained up. All right, Dave, hit it.
Whoa.
I would, guys, but I think I left a pot pie in the oven. Besides, I'm more of an NSYNC fan. Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Really? You're lost, fucker. Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Fucking laser rivet, get out of control.
Banana blast.